Have you ever tried affirmations and felt like a complete fraud? It's like saying, I'm confident while your nervous system is in full panic mode, or repeating, I am calm while your brain is completely spiraling. I've done this, and here's what I want to say clearly today. Affirmations are not denial, they are direction that you want to be in. They're not pretending that something is true, they are choosing who you are becoming. And if you are a high achiever, this matters even more because stress will try to redefine you, and affirmations will remind you who you are. So, welcome to another episode of Thriving by Nature. And we are going to be talking about affirmations and why affirmations don't work when they're used the wrong way. Affirmations will definitely feel fake sometimes, and they don't work when they contradict your nervous system because they can be extremely unbelievable at the time. They can ignore the real emotion that you're feeling, and they are used to suppress instead of regulate. And if your body doesn't feel safe, your brain isn't going to believe the words that you're saying. So instead of saying something like, I am wildly successful and everything is perfect, you need to shift what you're saying to yourself. Start saying, I am learning, I am steady, I am building. So give yourself direction, not denial. Because the other thing that will happen is that you will have stress. And that stress will keep saying to you that you're behind, you're failing, you're not enough. And the beautiful thing with affirmations is that they can interrupt that story if you use them the correct way. Because affirmations, they won't erase the stress that you're having, but they can stop that spiraling that you're having long enough that you can choose alignment again. And this is where your identity matters and where your values matter. Because instead of asking, well, what should I do? You can ask yourself, who do I want to be in this moment? And does it align with who I am and my values? Is it, well, for me, these are things that I will ask myself. I will ask myself, is this grounded? Is it resilient? Is it steady? Is it aligned? Because those are some of my values. And affirmations are more like anchors. They're anchors of your identity. So let's talk about how to identify an affirmation that will actually work in your life. So first, we need to identify what kind of a stress story you're telling yourself. So what do you say to yourself when you're overwhelmed? This is too much. I can't do this. Those are some things that I've said to myself. The other thing is, what do you want to embody when you're feeling that? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel strong? Do you want to feel empowered? And then here's the most powerful part, your step 3. Create an I am statement. Some I am statements I've used before are, I am strong. I am becoming. I am capable of handling this. Creating an I am statement for your affirmation is going to change everything because I am becoming more steady. I am capable of handling this. My worth is not dependent upon my productivity or determined upon that. And I'm going to respond from alignment and not reaction. The only things that you have to really make sure that you're doing that are really key here are making sure that you are staying grounded. Keep your I am statement true enough that your body doesn't reject that I am statement. So the other practice that I get is, how am I going to practice these affirmations? How do I do this? So there's about 3 times during the day when I feel like affirmations are useful in your mind space. So in the morning, choose your affirmation. I like to choose the same affirmation and I use it for a very long time until another affirmation will resonate with me. Right now, my affirmation is I am strong. And I will write that down. And then I think that I write it because that's when I write is in the morning. Later in the afternoon, when I am feeling tired and exhausted and feel like I have way too much on my plate, I will remember that I am strong and I can do this, and momentum will create more momentum. So just go. And that's what I need for my next step. In the evening, you can reflect upon this and reflect upon your day. Were you strong? Did you do the things that you were hoping you could do? And did this move you a little bit today? Are you 1% better than you were yesterday? Because remember that affirmations are about direction, not perfection. They are about aligning with your values and resonating with who you are, not telling yourself lies that your brain is going to be like, yeah, that's not true. Your affirmations need to reflect who you are. So, something that I would do all the time in my classroom when I was teaching littles is there's a song by Stephanie Lavelle, and I love it because there's some great affirmations in there. And I'm going to sing it. Sometimes I sing, if you know, sometimes I sing on my podcast, and that's okay. So let me tell you that this is going to build you. And I love music. Music heals my heart, heals my soul, and it can trigger us when we need to have that calm. When I need to feel calm and peaceful, I will sing. This song is called Bear Hug, Stephanie Lavelle. So it goes. Give yourself a bear hug because you're strong. Give yourself a bear hug because you're brave. Give yourself a bear hug because you're important. Give yourself a bear hug every day. Breathe in and breathe out. Hold your breath and let it out. Give yourself a bear hug because you're strong. Give yourself a bear hug because you're brave. Give yourself a bear hug because you're important. Give yourself a bear hug every day. So the affirmations are in there. No, you're strong. You're brave. You can do it. You're important. These are things our brains can understand. And we know them. We just forget them. And sometimes it's the little affirmations that we need to keep us moving forward. So let's just let that breathe for a minute because well, first off, I always get nervous when I do this because I'm like, I don't even get to listen to this. I mean, people do listen to my podcast, but it always makes me nervous. So when you say positive affirmations to yourself, something happens in your body. At first, you almost don't believe it. But the more that you say things that are aligned with you, the more that your body and your mind are connected in this way, and they will go for what the affirmation is. So I know that when I say my current affirmation, I am strong, my shoulders will drop. I will get this courage that builds up from within, and like a strong jolt of energy to be like, yeah, I am. I'm going to go do this. I got this. Because that is what affirmations are supposed to do. They're not about convincing your brain, but they're about regulating your nervous system, and they're about reinforcing your identity, because you don't need to become somebody new. You just need to reconnect with the person that you already are. Because remember this, the affirmations are not denial if they're aligned with who you are. They are direction. And they can very much so interrupt the negative patterns And they help to remind you who you are when stress tries to redefine that, because that's what happens every day. We have stress enter our lives and it tries to redefine who we are. So there's this man, and he sold caps. It's actually this story is in a book. It's called Caps for Sale. And he sold hats. And on his head, he's had his first hat, which was a checkered cap. And then he had red hats and blue hats and pink hats and all the different hats stacked upon his head. And he would go through the town and he would say, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And he had a hard day. He wasn't selling his caps. And he was really getting discouraged. So instead, he decided that, you know what? I need to take a break and step away from this. So he went out of town with his hats very, very slowly to not disturb all the hats on his head, right? He walked out of town and he went and sat underneath a tree. And he took a nap. He ate an apple because he didn't have any money. It was an apple tree. And he sat down and then he fell asleep. When he woke up, he put his hand on his head to see if his hats were there, and all he felt was his own checkered hat. His red, brown, blue, all of the hats that were stacked up high were gone. So he looked around the tree. He didn't see them. He looked up, down, everywhere. But when he looked up, he saw in the tree all of these monkeys, and on every single monkey was a hat. And he was like, starts shaking his fist and he goes, you monkey, you give me back my hat. And the monkeys, all they did was shake their fist and go, tss. Then he starts stomping his feet and going, you monkeys, you give me back my hat. And so they start stomping for their feet and they go tss and stomp their feet. And he's just doing all these things that he can think of to get his hats back down. Finally, he takes off his hat and he throws it on the ground in frustration. And then pretty soon, all of the blue hats, red hats, checkered hats, all the hats come out of the tree. And he slowly, just calmly picks them up and puts them back on his head and goes back into town and starts calling hats for sale, 50 cents a cap, as if nothing ever happened. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because we do this to ourselves. I feel like this story is a great story of affirmations. Because I love this book. What happened is he was very determined and he thought that he could do something and it just didn't work out the way he wanted to. Then, he falls asleep. After he falls asleep, it's really not the way he wanted to. And everything is up in the air, frustration, everything. He's overwhelmed. Nothing is going the way he wants it to. And then finally, once he figures out the problem, he slowly picks up the pieces, takes a deep breath, and picks up to where he left off. This is kind of what affirmations are. They are these pieces. When everything feels scattered and we just don't know what to do, it's when we tell ourselves, I am strong. And we look at the pieces and we're like, yes, you are. Pick those up and let's go. And that's what this story means to me. So I hope that you can remember that there is a season in life that is hard. There's a season in life where you have to show up. And there's a season in life where you just don't know where you need to go or what you should be doing. But if you use the affirmations the way that you're supposed to, you will not convince your brain. You will align your nervous system. You'll reinforce your identity, and you will reconnect with who you already are and know that. Because remember, affirmations are direction. They're about interrupting the negative thought pattern that we're having. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Thriving by Nature podcast. And if this resonated with you, I would love for you to come and join me in my next free masterclass. If you go to my website, thrivingbynature.com, you'll be able to find a link to register. I don't really advertise this. It is capped. There's not very many spots available. And you can also find my drop-in coaching there. If you just need support for right now, there's 3 times a week, and you can just drop in whenever you need that support. All the links are going to be in my show notes as well, because thriving isn't just about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing alignment over and over again. And you got this.